Welcome to the Awaken on Purpose podcast, where each week you'll hear inspirational stories of heart-centered leaders who have awakened to their higher purpose and taken that leap of faith to follow their heart and make an impact in the world. Get ready to be enlightened, empowered, and transformed with your host, Jennifer Spohr.
I am excited and honored and just really overjoyed to welcome as a guest to the show today, Pragito Dove. She is a global authority on expressive meditation and founder of the #1 Expressive Meditation Training School in North America. An internationally recognized author, hypnotherapist, coach, and speaker with over 20 years experience, Pragito helps entrepreneurs, leaders, and CEOs align their mindset to allow more peace, time, and financial freedom. She shows you how to change your money blueprint, recondition your mind for automatic abundance, and use spiritual laws to create real-world success. Pragito has shared the stage with such luminaries as John Gray, author of Mars, Venus, Panache Desai and MITEN. Her new book, Lunchtime Enlightenment, Expressive Meditations for Manifesting Peace, Prosperity, and Passion, was published in August 2020. Thank you, Pragito. Welcome. So happy to have you.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm delighted to be here.
Pragito, I know this is a big question, but what inspired you to do the work that you're doing today?
Well, I don't know if it was that I was inspired to do it. I think it was more, I was looking for a way to heal myself because I had a very challenging childhood. I had a cruel mother, so I had a lot of pain in my heart. I had a lot of fear. I was actually terrified of her. And I had a lot of anger too. And I love my father, but he didn't stand up for himself, let alone stand up for me. So my solution as a child was to just stuff all my feelings down and live in my head. So that got me through high school and college, where I did pretty well. I got a master's in education. But then after that, which was like my early 20s, I realized that I was a mess. And I needed to find a way to heal myself. And I did various types of therapy and so on through my 20s. I also got married and had my son in my early 30s. My son was born. But when I was 6 months pregnant, I found out my husband was having an affair. So that just added to the pain and anger that I was already feeling. And of course, that wasn't really good for my son either. So after my son was born, I think really looking into his blue eyes and seeing the innocence there, and also the joy, that the joy that is our natural state that children have, I realized I had some really, serious work to do on myself, because if I didn't, I was just going to transmit all of my anger, fear, and pain to my son, and then we'd have another person in a straitjacket, because I've kind of felt like I was in a straitjacket. So I started looking around to see what I could find in terms of healing, although I had been doing some healing modalities in my 20s. But that was when I started to hear about Osho and all these expressive meditations. And I decided to go to India, to Osho's meditation resort in Pune in India, which is about a 30-minute plane ride from Mumbai. And by this time, I'd got a divorce and my son was 14 months old. And I took my son with me because I had got full custody of him. And when I got to Osho's meditation resort and I started listening to his discourses and practicing all the meditations, I realized I'd found my way home. And what I mean by that is I'd found the solutions to finding my own home. Because in the expressive meditation techniques, what you do is you express out your laughter and joy, your grief and sadness, your anger and frustration in the context of a meditation technique. And then in the second stage, you sit in silence. So let me give you an example of that. I'll take the laughter meditation because that's the most popular one, of course, one of my favorites. So in the first stage, we just laugh and laugh and laugh. Nobody's telling jokes. There's no words spoken in a language you understand. It's just laughing. And then the second stage, you sit in silence. And what you're actually doing with all that laughing is you're opening up the energetic channels in the body, because laughter is a very strong, very powerful energy of healing. And I literally laugh my way through blocks in my body, like my throat chakra was blocked. Of course, my heart was all shut down. My power chakra was blocked. And I did many visits there. And I also ended up training in all these meditations, but I've probably done hundreds of hours of laughter by now. And it's like I laugh my way through all the blocks. And then it's opposite meditation, the tears or the crying meditation, is where you have the permission in this meditation context to get in touch with your sadness, your grief. This is the opposite energy of the tears. And that is a very, very powerful way to heal your heart. So I did many hours of that too. And then the second stage of that is always sitting in silence. There's a gibberish meditation technique where the first stage you just shout and holler in gibberish. And basically it's a great technique to dump out all your anger and frustration, again, in the context of a meditation technique. And then in the second stage, you sit in silence. And there's more of these. There's a dancing meditation, which is from the Sufi tradition. There's humming meditations, which are from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. The gibberish is from Jabbar, the Sufi mystic Jabbar. He's the one who first created the gibberish about 2 centuries ago, a long time ago. So it was a wide range of techniques that I studied from different traditions. And it was Osho really that he created new expressive techniques, and he also updated old ones. So, for example, the laughter meditation, that is from Japan, and Hote, the laughing Buddha, you might have seen statues of him. He's the one with the big belly. That's from 16th century Japan, the laughter meditation. So through doing all of this, I started to find myself, my creativity, my laughter, my joy, my heart was healing. I found my authentic self. And most importantly, I found inner peace, my center. So that's a synopsis of how I came to be where I am now.
It's a journey, right? You know, I was just reflecting on my own journey as you were sharing yours and thinking about the question, how did you get inspired to do what you're doing? And it really is often, we don't know what we're inspired to do initially. It really is a journey of unfolding and rediscovering ourselves. That's really beautiful. Something that I want to touch on, is that it's common, there are a lot of people out there that feel like meditation has to be all or nothing. The first time they try it, they struggle to quiet their mind. And one of the things, I read your book, which I loved, and I know that we'll talk about later on in our conversation. But one of the things I love about expressive meditation, whether it's laughter or some other approach, is that it's almost like the expressive part of it helps you to free yourself and to quiet your mind, so that when you focus on the silence portion, I feel like it feels a lot more natural. It's like you're not fighting against your thoughts, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And this is where I want to just say a few things about what meditation is and what it is not. Meditation is not a technique. Yes, there's many techniques, but meditation is a quality of awareness, of presence that you can bring to any activity. It's actually very simple what meditation is. And I think you and your all the listeners will find that they've already had many moments of meditation without perhaps realizing that that was meditation, because anytime you are fully present, you are in meditation, because the mind is not there interfering. And I said it's very simple. It is very simple, but it's not always easy. And why isn't it easy? Well, because of the monkey mind. Because the mind doesn't like meditation. The mind likes to be in control of us. And so it interferes with our present moment in any way it can, by dragging us into the past or making up projections about the future. And so one of the great practices of meditation is to learn to witness the mind, to become a witness to the mind. Because we are not the mind. That's not who we are. But I used to think I was my mind till I found out I wasn't through this practice of witnessing. So you're absolutely right about the laughter. Like when you come to the second stage of silence, after all the expression, whichever expressive meditation technique you've done, then it's very easy to drop down to your center, 2 inches below the navel, where is your inner peace and calm, your wisdom, your creativity, your joy. They all reside in your center. That's where where your soul you're connected to your soul. And so being able to take the lid off the pressure cooker, so to speak, of all the inner turmoil of emotion and mental clutter, and also physical tensions in the body, you're basically clearing out inner clutter. That's what you're doing in the first stage. So that in the second stage, it's much easier to drop down to your natural state, because our natural state is peace and calm and joy and love. And, just have to look at a baby to see that and to know that. And we were all babies once. We were all little children once. We just got filled up with all this clutter. So what I love so much about these expressive techniques is this this ability to throw out a lot of inner clutter and then drop down to our center, which is made pretty easy. And then from there, you can learn to witness the mind. You watch the thoughts passing by. And it doesn't matter if they're good thoughts or bad thoughts, they're all thoughts. And the key is these 5 magic words: let the mind pass by. Those are your 5 magic words for the mind. You just sit and observe or witness or watch and just let the thoughts pass by. And judgments are thoughts, comparisons are thoughts, and you let all of it pass by. And over time, you learn to disidentify from the mind, because you can't stop the mind. You can't actually quiet the mind, and you don't really want to, because we need the mind. The mind is our form of expression to the outer world, so we want our mind. It's just that we don't want to be ruled by our mind or at the effect of our mind. And so when you learn this technique of witnessing and you become disidentified from the mind, then the mind can go on its merry way. And you are just sitting there totally relaxed, watching. And then how that translates into your daily life is you just find that you have a greater ability to be present with your day-to-day activities and are less caught up in what the mind is saying. So you're less fearful, because fear comes from the mind. You're less greedy, because greed comes from the mind. And judgment and comparison, those are, I call them our 4 false friends, and they live in the mind: fear and greed, comparison and judgment. So you learn over time to not be influenced by those false friends, to see them for what they are and just let them pass by, so that you can live from your center, from presence. And when you're in presence, when you're fully present, you have an ability to tap into infinite possibility, into the universal creative mind, where the sky's the limit for you. And that's really the ultimate freedom, to be free of the mind.
Thank you for sharing that, Pragito. I mean, I think someone could go back and listen to this interview, and it's a lesson in meditation. It really is. Pragito, every experience in our lives serves a purpose in shaping us and our journey. What experience in your life do you feel has been most significant in shaping who you've become today?
I think having my son, the birth of my son, and then raising him, the first thing I found out was that I didn't have any patience. So I had to learn patience, and then I would notice myself sometimes behaving like my mother, which is really what I didn't want. And I would think, why am I saying that to him? Or why am I doing that? Oh, that's what my mother did. So I need to let go of that habit and not do that. So in a way, he was like a little Zen master for me, a mirror to show me my issues, basically.
I love that, a little Zen master. Most children would be, I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You ask any parent. I mean, yeah, they push you to the limit. Yes.
Our relationships are really our greatest teachers. Pragito, there are a lot of people out there and even now more than ever with all the changes happening in our world, that are at a crossroads, feeling called to do more, to make a change in their path. What advice would you have for those people at a crossroads to be able to take action and move forward today?
Do you mean they're at a crossroads because they feel they need to make some changes?
Yes, and they've not taken action to do so. What advice would you provide them to be able to take action?
Well, I think to take action on something, you want to have a lot of passion for whatever it is. And you also want to feel it's something that you enjoy. Because if it's something that you kind of dread, or you don't really want to do it, or you're going to do it because you think other people think you should do it, that's just not really going to work. So find your passion, find what it is that you love to do. It doesn't matter what it is, just that you love to do it, and do it. And don't do it with an agenda like, oh, I'm going to play tennis a lot because then I can be a professional tennis player. No, just enjoy playing tennis, or enjoy knitting or crocheting or walking your dog, whatever it is, but bring those qualities of enjoyment and follow your passion. And what's going to happen is you're going to start opening up energetically. Because when we're happy, when we are following and doing things that we love to do and are passionate about, it opens us up, it opens our heart. And what that means is that creative ideas are going to start coming to you of how to go about whatever it is you want to make, whatever area of your life you want to make the changes. And you'll also have the enthusiasm and the excitement about doing it too. Now, it might not be the same thing as what your, one of your main passions, like being a tennis player, but it will open up, because everybody, I do believe, has a creativity to share with the world that is uniquely theirs. It's interesting because one of my clients recently, she started doing some coaching, and she was telling me that she had started painting because she couldn't go to her job. So she was at home with all this time, and she started painting, and she had forgotten how much she liked painting as a kid. And long story short, she's now making greeting cards from her paintings and starting a business from that. So you never know, what might be inside of you.
That's so true. Pragito, if someone wants to learn more about you and the work that you're doing, where is the best place to find you? And then also, we'd love to hear more about your book that came out recently.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, the best place to find me is my website, discovermeditation.com. And I have a couple of awesome free gifts for those of you that want to sign up for my free Laughing Buddhas Network newsletter. That's all on the homepage there of the website. And then you'll get updates of what's happening. And my book, yes, I'm very excited about my new book. Thank you for asking. It's called Lunchtime Enlightenment, and you can get that on Amazon. And it went to number 1 in 11 categories when it came out in August. So that was very exciting. The subtitle is Expressive Meditations for Manifesting Peace, Prosperity, and Passion. And it really offers an approach to meditation that is not out there, actually, because all these techniques I learned over in India that I've just been describing, they're not well known here in North America at all. So you can find out a lot more about them in the book.
Well, I can attest that your book was amazing, and it's definitely worth checking out. And I really, it's for everybody. It really is. So especially if you're someone listening that, you know, struggles with meditation as a practice, I think this would really be the book for you. I feel like there is something for everybody in this book.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Yes.
I did write it for everybody.
Well, you accomplished your mission. I thought it was fantastic. It really is something for everybody. And we'll be sure to include the links that you mentioned in the show notes as well. Pragito, thank you so very, very much for taking the time to have this conversation today. I just honor you and appreciate you. And I'm so grateful for just all the work that you're doing and who you are. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. I've really enjoyed being here with you today.
Thank you for listening to the Awake and On Purpose podcast. Please visit us and subscribe to the podcast at awakeandonpurpose.com so you never miss an episode. To learn more about how you can connect with your higher purpose and take that leap of faith to make your impact in the world, visit us at jenniferspor.com. And while you're there, be sure to join our email list for exclusive offers and a weekly dose of inspiration.